Right, you guys are awesome, and the response to this let's process the same raw file has been insane. It was good fun back when we started this a couple of years, and this should have come back a lot sooner. So thank you for the response. Love what you guys did with this image. If you're just catching up, this is how it works. I put out a raw file, untouched, raw out of camera, DNG. You then process it, everybody else processes it, you send it back, and we compare and see what we came up with. Now, let's dive straight into Lightroom. Now, there's a couple of you that ask, wow, this is difficult. I can't get rid of the zebra. Am I allowed to crop? The goal for this particular image was just this. Keep it natural. So, cropping, yes, cropping is part of a natural process. You can crop in camera by walking closer, getting your game drive to go closer, or then after the fact, crop it in. I'm not a big fan of cropping in a huge amount after the fact, quality-wise, and I mean, especially things like the D800, D810, even the 5D3 with huge megapixels. People shoot in the center all the time. The creative compositional side of it just goes out the window, and they crop after the fact. Try and do as much as in camera, but yes, cropping for this one was fine. So, this was the raw file, first one I threw at you. Pretty overexposed, and yes, guys, this is the reason I chose it, because there was something wrong with it, to see what you guys did with it. So, this was the original file. Let me just show you here. This is all, if we now scan through, this is all the images that you guys sent back. What's the first thing you notice? Color differences and tonal differences. Obviously, the next one I'm going to hint is black and white, coming up later today. But this particular one was natural as possible. Now, what is natural in this? If we look through this, there's a lot of similar ones, apart from the crop, just the color tones. One or two blown, some too warm, some too cold. We'll look through those now. One or two on the exposures is still quite on the bright side. Set. Let's have a look through. If I do this, I'm going to put the names on the top here. So this was the original raw. Let's just scroll through these and have a look and see what came out of it. Wayne, Tanya, you can check the names in the top corner there just to kind of see what we did with this. Interesting crop. Looks like a halo on the side. Quite bright. Quite bright. See, these are so close together. Interesting texture. Notice the texture difference from that to that. Quite dark in the middle. Bright. Bright. Nice. You see, so just there. Okay, so now we've got, I'm guessing we can check this out, but I think somewhere between Josh and Kay here, there were some radial filters used, yeah? John, quite cool there. Interesting crop, nice and close. Jennifer did too as well, so there's the full and there's the crop version. Square is an interesting thing because Instagram has thrown us off a bit. Everything needs to go square for Instagram. It's a tough one to pull off in wildlife photography, but we can discuss that at a later stage. Quite warm there, Jock, Holly, Heinrich. Interesting texture. This gather, I think, would be great from a black and white point of view with all the texture and stuff. Francisco, Craig, what do we got there? Christina, nice. Charmaine, Carol. So again, there's some, check out the different, such a subtle change that you guys did, but it makes a huge difference to the final version. This also, this could be a high key black and white, but yeah, we can look at that. Ashraf asked, he processed this with Photoscape, haven't used it personally. Oh, he's trying to remove this, the elephant's got it, I didn't even notice that. Cloned it out completely. Alyssa. Right, so those are the images that you guys sent in. Pretty cool. Overall, I mean, if I had to choose natural out of here, this is tough because the ones that I would be attracted to, let's do it from the big one here. Just, I like judging an image on a thumbnail version because if it pulls you in on a small image, there's a good chance it has a lot of power. I'm not sure one of those maybe. As a bigger image. So maybe those come up for me as a thumbnail as kind of close to natural. Let's check. This one's a bit cool. What do we got? A little bit warm on there. I'm stuck between. This is close. I'm not. Okay, lose the crop. I'm stuck between these two. So this would be, was it Raul and Francisco? I like those two. This one's borderline too saturated for me personally. Remember, guys, just this is not yours is bad, mine is better. This is just an exercise for us to learn because this is a great way to compare and see how other people do it. But for me, those probably one of those two would be close to natural. But let's have a look. My turn. So, how I would approach this particular image. off the bat, this thing is obviously overexposed. Now, my normal process starts, I would go with the black slider and the white slider. That's me. Fix those and then play everywhere else. But if there's an issue to start with, get started on the exposure. Fix the problem first and then go deeper and start with the black and white. So, because I can see, even by my histogram and just visually, this thing is blown out. So I would pull my exposure back until it's more in control. And now, this is more of a neutral exposure. Now I would go and I would set my black point just to get some pure black in there. I will do the same with white. Back it up just, okay, there's some speckles at the bottom, that's cool. In this case now, I would think maybe just lift the shadows a bit. I've seen, let's see, just those couple of sliders takes me from there to there. Already, that's pretty natural, but we'll play a bit more. Just a quick one. I see a lot of you guys, when you process, and I've seen this on safaris and videos you guys sent me to kind of check, highlights and shadows, you guys, they are great sliders and they have a goal, but be careful of bumping these sliders up to 100%. It might look good and you think, oh, this is amazing, but you are degrading the quality. You want to try. If you have to push those sliders that far, you pretty much made a mess of it in camera. There are situations where you might want to push it a bit heavier. Black and white, different story. But careful of going, especially on highlight and shadows, because it can very easily start looking fake. So for me, I kind of buffer my shadows and highlights to about 40 to 50, never more than that. Right, so I'm at this stage now where I've gone from there to there. I might want to push clarity a bit to bring some of the texture back. Now remember, when you change clarity, it affects the tonal value, so you're going to have to readjust black and white if necessary. Still quite happy for it. Crop-wise, I might just want to take a touch off the top. I like 16:9, but in this case, I'm either going to chop the Ellie's feet off or the zebra, even though we'll talk about the zebra now. So I'm not going to go pure 16:9. I'm just going to lose a little bit off the top, which allows me to take some of this white off. Now, the first thing here is the skew. I might rotate. I see some of you did rotate this. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not too stressed about it. I would just want to do maybe something like this. So I'm doing a graduated filter over this top corner. Let me just reset the effect of that. And the highlights in that top area, which just soften it up a little bit. So by doing that graduated filter, see, it's very, I don't even see this in the video, it's just very subtly dropping the brights in the top area. Let me just go a little bit more aggressive there for you guys, just for the video purpose, yeah? So just to drop that corner in, make it a bit more palatable. That to me is, and then at the end of it, I will also just give it a little bit of extra punch on the color, and I would probably stay there. So those, let me just give you that slider back. Those adjustments there will take me from a mess to a probably usable image if the composition and everything was great. Now, the zebra, some of you tried to crop him out. I see, Ashraf, you chopped off this elephant. It's a pretty good job because I didn't notice it initially, but why? Why would you want to take him out? Some people wanted to take the zebra out. Why do you want to take the zebra out? He's out of focus. If that zebra was sharp and in focus, it would draw my eye away and it would bother me. It would take my eye away from this elephant in the front. So I've decided to leave him. Who was it? Richard, I think it was, dropped me a mail in his email, said that he tried to get rid of the zebra. It's a bit of a mess. Richard, I'm seeing you this weekend for a workshop. We'll work on stuff like that, but you need to ask yourself why. Do you want to get rid of him? Is it going to change the story that much? And is it worth your time? I think a lot of people spend so much time trying to get rid of things and deleting things that it kind of misses the point. We're photographers. We want to spend time in the field. Either wait for that zebra to go, or if you really need to clone him, you can take the time. I don't want to do those kind of things. And that zebra doesn't bother me. It kind of adds a nice story that it's not just the elephants, and let's get carried away a bit. The elephants are keeping the other animals away from that water hole. Anyway, so let's put this back in there, go to grid. So there's the original one, my version, and if we then look at all of the rest of it, there's a lot of them that come pretty close. Again, guys, I'm not right. This is my version. I like to go for neutral. I understand Lightroom and I know how to get to the process. And I think that's the biggest challenge. Learn the program or Photoshop or what was the other one, Photoscape, whatever you use. But don't just dig in and move sliders around. Know where you want to get to. It makes the whole process so much easier. Right, this is fun. I like this. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to do this again. Watch the blog later today. Today is, what is today? Is today Tuesday? Yes, today is Tuesday. Later today, I'm going to post another one. Raw challenge number 2 for now. This is a short-term one. I'm off on safari on Friday for quite some time, about a month. I will be online. I'm going to try and maybe squeeze 1 or 2 in, but I've got a black and white one coming up for you later on the blog. Stay tuned for that. But before I go, I have a question for you. What is it? Call it the question of the day if you will, and please comment. If you played along, even not, please help me with this. Question of the day is, what is the biggest thing you struggle with when it comes to post-processing? Leave me a comment and let me know. This was fun. Check out the next one. I look forward to playing with you guys some more. This is amazing. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye, and I will see you next time.